Hello students, welcome to our e-learning class. Today I will take class 9 economics class. In previous class we already started chapter 2 people as resource. Okay, in people as resource we discussed some term, okay, some activities, economic activities, non-economic activities. Under economic activities, market economy, non-market economy, that we already discussed. Okay, but some students have some queries in the previous chapter, the story of village Palampur. They asked, ma'am, what is the difference between the fixed capital and working capital? So this is very simple thing. Fixed capital that means the funds which invest in machines, buildings, tools by the organization. This is called the fixed capital. As example, in the farming production, we see that for the cultivation we need the tractors, turbine, generators. So these are the examples of the fixed capital. Okay, if we are talking about the working capital, so this working capital, that means this working capital refers the funds which invest in the raw materials, cash by the organization. That means raw materials means seeds, fertilizers. So these are the example of raw materials. So fixed capital, that means buildings, machines which we can use in our long-term production process. That means one building, in industry we need the buildings. So these buildings we can use minimum for the 10 years. So that is the long-term asset, fixed capital. And working capital is the short-term asset. That means raw materials, these seeds we can use within the 1 year. Okay, and we can use for 1 year the farming production and for the fertilizers also. And cash means money, these are also needed in the any production process. So this is the basic difference between the fixed capital and working capital. Okay, now one student also asks question, what is the difference between the GDP and GNP? Gross domestic product. Gross domestic product means the final value of all goods and services which produced in a particular year within a country. This is called the gross domestic product. So this production process or only held in the country, not the outside of the country. If we talk about the GNP. GNP means GDP plus net income from foreign investment. That means the income from the foreign plus the final value of all goods and services which produced during a year within a country is also included in GNP. So you can't understand what is the measurements and what is the excludes. So measurement means when we measure the GDP, this is we can measure only for the domestic production. But when talking about the GNP, or when we measure the GNP, this is the production by the national or international. Okay, so this is the main difference between the GDP and GNP. And one term also I given in the assignment, excludes. What is the term exclude? So when we count the GDP, here we exclude the product, goods and services which produce outside of the country. This term we exclude in GDP. That means we only include the goods and services which produced within a country, not outside of the country. Okay, but in GNP, what we exclude? Here we exclude in a country, that means in our home country, some foreigners also live here. So whatever they earn or income of the foreigners who lives in our home country, these are we not include in GNP. So this is the term exclude. Okay. Now we come to our second chapter, people as resource. So when we make any people as a resource or human capital, we need some components: education, health, training. So first, today I discuss about the education. So by the education, the people of the country, they make the various, or they get the better economic opportunities. Okay, so by the education get better economic opportunities. Okay, which also remove unemployment. What is the term the unemployment? That means the person who are able and willing to work, but he or she can't get any work. So this term is called the unemployment. And also by the education we can raise our national income. Okay, and also our cultural richness. So how to enhance our education system in our country? So by the government, they taken some measurement. One is Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, midday meal scheme, right to education. So what is the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan? So this is one program which introduced by the government, Indian government, and which introduced in 2010. Okay, and this program provide free and compulsory education to the children the age group of 16 to 14 years. Okay students, so these are the main aim of the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Now, we are talking about the midday meal scheme. Which introduced in 15 August 1995. And the main aim, this scheme also provided by the Indian government, and the main aim of this scheme to provide the free education to the children, all children, and also to provide the nutrition or some nutritional food to the children. Okay, who are come to the disadvantaged group. So this midday meal scheme first introduced in Tamil Nadu. After Tamil Nadu, there was the great responsiveness by the students. So after that, the Supreme Court, they directed to implement this scheme to the all states, okay, and provide the cooked meal to the all students. And after this scheme, there are the significant rising number of girl students, girls children, and also the enrollment of number of the poor children. So this one is the popular scheme, midday meal scheme. Now the next one is right to education. So this is one fundamental rights, and this is also, this act also enforced in April 2010, and by this act provide the free and compulsory education to all the children. So these are some measurements which taken by the government to improve our education system. Okay students, so for today we discussed up to that. The next class we continue our next components, health, which is very important components to develop the human resource. So for today, thank you.